you genuinely solved the answers that I was looking for throughout my entire venture in business. That's the honest truth. Like no glazing, nothing. But I'm being dead set serious. You have a fast-growing, like agencies, businesses, the niches, the deliverables, everything it gets quite saturated quickly, right? And you can always jump in whenever, but there's always going to be competition. But genuinely, your your teachings, your modules, your guidance answered the question because I've been asking that same question the whole way through. How am I going to get my edge? How am I going to differentiate myself from all these other people out here that are chasing online entrepreneurship, like business owners and service deliveries and everything? How am I going to just have that be different, right? But in the same lane type thing. And I've heard a lot of, it's how you craft your offer, it's how you word it, it's how this and that. And it's like, yeah, I've always been great with words, but even I can't figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I'm a high school dropout, but my one subject that I excelled in was English. Like, you know what I mean? Like grammar and everything. So me struggling trying to figure out how I word and craft my offer, that still wasn't helping me in my case. So when it came to, because I genuinely, when I first came across you and your content and became familiar with you, I was like, this is the fucking guy. Like, sorry for saying bro, but I was set on it. I was like, man, this is the guy whose wing I want to be under. And sure enough, joining your program, you actually had the answer. You helped me figure it out. I've registered my business for the first time February 2024. So right, and I haven't figured it out this entire time. And it's not a, it was never anything, fear of starting. I've always been the guy that if I'm going to dedicate myself to something, to anything, I'm in it, right? And I've only had one other past venture before I started chasing business. I won't say what it is, but right, I had a life before this, right? And so with business being the other thing that catches my eye that I've moved towards, it's never a am I too scared to start type of a question. Like no, it's I just can't figure it out because I start off with one certain deliverable that was a marketing agency. You can still make it as a marketing agency if you start up now. I guarantee it. And this is me saying this after your teachings. Now that I see it, right? I see everything different. I genuinely see everything different now. And you help me find my words and bro, this is glazing on another level, but it's all like speaking from the heart. I'm being dead set, bro. You help me find the right words as someone who's a wordsmith at heart, bro. You help me find the right words and the figure it out. And that's something that I've struggled with from the beginning. And now I made 10K in like 2.5 hours. What the fuck? What the fuck? That doesn't happen to me, bro. That doesn't happen to me. I've always considered myself to be a late starter in the business world, bro. I'm 29. You know what I mean? Everyone, bro, are an example. I'm gonna use you as an example, bro. You're half my age. Back in my day, we never had the internet like this. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, I've always considered myself a late starter. So I was never scared to jump into this world, but I definitely had struggles trying to figure it out. And bro, you just opened my eyes, and now I'm just like 10K, meh, 10K a month, meh. What was that? Another Porsche. Like it's just really like flipped everything, bro. Like, and I'm seeing a lot of things more differently with this business venture, and it's because of you.
Bro, I really, really, really appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. So, I mean, you said you started, what was it? February 2024?
Hmm?
March? Yeah.
February.
February 2024 you started. Now we have May 2025. So for like a solid year, did you like sign any clients? I don't think you did, right?
Nope. Nope. not once. Because so I did it wrong by I'm not going to say names, but I jumped into a community that was large by the time that I joined, right? And I'm someone who's really good at self-assessing. So when I see situations that I've been put in or that I put myself in, whatever, I'm able to look at it from a like a bird's eye view type thing. So when I jumped into this community, I didn't know I was jumping into a community. I just signed up for a course, right? A course to learn this new skill that was sold to me, very well done, by the way, by this guru. And I was like, yeah, that ticks all the boxes of what I want to do in life. So I jumped right in, spent money I didn't have, bro. I had to do the payment plan for the bro because who can I can't afford that, especially with the exchange rates from Australia to wherever he was. And then once I signed up to the course, it then says, oh yeah, join our Facebook group. And I jumped in the group, and there were thousands of people. And what I meant by I'm able to see things from a bird's eye view, I then quickly realized, okay, these thousands of people just learned the exact same thing that I'm about to learn because the only way they can have access to this group, this community, is by sitting this course, by purchasing this course. And I wouldn't say it frightened me. I would not say it frightened me. It kind of pissed me off because I introduced myself in the group. That was one of the action tasks that were told in the modules, right? I introduced myself, like post, like motivated and everything. This kid DMs me and he goes, "How many clients have you got?" I was like, "Oh, hey, bro. I see that you're reaching out because of the community. That was my introduction post, so I've only just begun. I've never signed anyone." And then he literally replies, dead set, just this. I got 17. Bro, what a dickhead. Like, it kind of like pushed me, like gave me the ick in a way, you know what I mean? So I finished that course and everything. And then I was like, okay, I need to find an edge because these thousands of people, I'm not, that's competition. Like, yeah, we're all in the same community, but the competition now. So that was February, March, April. And then I started diving into, no, yeah, February and March or so. And then I started diving into other people's like free communities and stuff like that. There was this one guy I found on YouTube. He had put up a video that was something like, I just signed an $8,000 a month client. Watch me do it or whatever. And he uploaded his sales call and he only had like 10 views on it. I was like, okay, cool. This is an undiscovered guy that I could like learn from. Joined his free community, did his teachings. I was like, he didn't really teach me F all, to be honest. And then so I just spent this time trying to figure out, trying to learn what else I can do other than just paid ads as a service, right? And then I stumbled across a video on my, I think Facebook or something random, bro. And it was a guy who sold AI. I was like, AI, I know AI. I've heard of that. That's that weird thing when people make funny photos. That's all I knew of it, bro. And that was April last year. And then I was in communities. First community I joined, uh, no disrespect to the bro, but it wasn't for me. Like I did pay out of pocket and everything like that, real freaking expensive. And I had like put a bad taste in my mouth that after 3 weeks of paying, he was like, you know what, guys, the community is now free. I was like, bro, why did you just make me pay 3 weeks worth out of pocket and everything? And then yeah, I kind of separated myself from him. But then I got an idea. I was like an idea about what AI could do, right? He didn't share anything, didn't teach anything. He didn't give us any original ideas. He just said, yeah, do this, do that. And I was like, nah, but that's not how you became successful. Like when you start a community, it's really when you got a proper foundation laid out type thing. And yeah, I assessed the situation. I went to go do my own thing, jumped through like 3 or 4 different communities. I think I paid for like 2 of them along my journeys. Ultimately, bro, I spent like 20,000 out of pocket while I am a dad and like still renting. Because this time last year, bro, I was actually living with um my partner's at my partner's parents' place with my family, and there were no more bedrooms for me. So I legit had the garage with a mattress on the floor. So I was just trying to get out of that type thing. You know what I mean? And I had a day job, average, right? Blue collar industry, and then yeah, I started building rather than just because a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, the best way to do it is to sell first, and then when you get the money, pay other people to do it. And it's like, yeah, but if I were to do that, I'm not learning anything. There's a skill set, there's a gap in skill set that I'm aware that I don't have. So I'm gonna jump into these things with no more communities to jump in, no more courses, and I'm gonna teach myself these skills. Bro, I got my AI certificate from Google. I got AI marketing certificate with Google. Like I literally went out of my way to learn these things. And then I started learning about different platforms, started looking for platforms no one's heard of, and eventually I came across an email from you because I found my way through your marketing list, your emailing list, your mailing list, sorry. And then when you sent out saying that you're starting up something new, I was like, cool, I'm all in. Because I've come across you before, I've seen you once before, and you had so much value that in a webinar that I randomly joined, that as you were speaking, bro, and as you were presenting, I screenshot like so many times from all the slides that you were putting on the screen, bro. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. If this guy's not gonna drop files, I'm gonna study what because the way that he's thinking is out of it. And bro, I can legitimately pull up like a folder of screenshots that I had from that webinar that you're presenting at. But yeah, so it was kind of a no brainer. And at that point, bro, um, we'd moved into this house we're in now. Me, my partner, and my two sons. Um, I got fired from my job in March, and I've had no income. My partner's been doing all this overtime to keep us afloat because I just straight asked her, like, would you let me go all in? I'll take care of the house, I'll take care of the kids. I became the stay-at-home dad, so I can try and find out throughout the day if I could squeeze in time to learn my business more and everything, learn the skills that I need to acquire. A lot of people say, a lot of the gurus that I've come across along the way, they're all saying like, it's not you don't have to be the smartest person to run a business. And it's like, yeah, but I like to know what I'm selling. I like to know what I can provide of value and talk about it thoroughly without needing to, just yeah, I was gonna sell this, but my team didn't tell me what else they were gonna do with it or how to do it. So if you want to ask about it, you have to ask them, not me. It's like, bro, fuck that. One man team, can't afford anything else. Can't afford Loom to record Loom videos. So, and I was already paying for Canva, $20 a month. Sweet, I figure it out on Canva. And yeah, coming across you was the greatest thing of my life. You changed my trajectory, bro. It's like purely full stop. You changed everything, and I could not have done it without your guidance. That's honest truth. Do you know what else is the honest truth, bro? I didn't pay for your course. My dad did out of the superannuation. Oh, super superannuation? Yeah, his super fund, which is like a retirement fund that every time you get a paycheck, is automatically taken out and put to the side until you reach a certain age, and then you get it back when you turn like 65 or something. I couldn't afford your course, bro, and I was spewing about it. I pitched to my one rich mate, bro, if you pay for this course for me, bro, I'll give you 20% of everything I earn every month for like 5 years. Like I was, and all he had to make is a $7,000. That's what it cost in Australian currency. All he had to do was make a $7,000 investment, and bro, he'd been rich if he had done it. But no, he said no. he had a chat with his missus. I sold him, and he was excited about it. The other reason I pitched to him is because coincidentally, like a month beforehand, he randomly called me, and I hadn't spoken to him in like 5 years. But then I told him about my business venture and what I'm learning, and he was very excited and like saw the value in what I was doing. So when I pitched to him, I kind of thought it was like, yeah, cool, this is definitely going to happen. But then he got back to me like a couple of days later, like, sorry, bro, it's not going to happen. It's like, yeah, not fair. Like, it's not my money to invest, but you got a family too. That's all good. And then yeah, I just no shit, my world like crumbled at that day. Like I swear I was gonna like run out to the beach and like scream out to the ocean or something. Like let the wind blow. Like yeah, I thought I was gonna. I was devastated, bro. But then my dad randomly reached out to me and he goes, "I know you don't pray anymore, but just say one prayer." I was like, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Because I'm hoping something comes through for you." And I don't know what he meant. I was like, "All right, cool, dad. I'll pray." So I said a prayer. And then like 3 days later, he goes, "Yeah, so my superannuation, even though I can't touch it, coincidentally, that company that holds his money, that where it gets automatically taken out and held for you till you reach a certain age, they coincidentally had something bad happen, like they got hacked or something. So as a sorry to all the customers, they're allowed to take as much out of their superannuation that they want for this month." And it just happened to be like that. And so my dad was like, "Hey, I'm part of them, and my son needs money." And so my dad sent me the money to be able to pay afford your course. Now I can pay it back for him. I pay it back to him easy. One client, oh yeah. But it's all because of you, bro. It's all because of what you told me. It was very my very specific situation, and you had the answer for it, which is no one else gave.
Bro, I genuinely cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. And although I like to take all the praise in, and I am very, very appreciative of everything you said, it's obviously a big part of your success also came from you putting in the work, right? You were committed, you did exactly what I told you to do, etc., etc. And you just acted upon everything that needed to be done, bro. You were committed, you put in the work, you also put in the risk, bro. Investing in stuff is always, it's uncomfortable. I've done it many, many, many times with bigger sums as well for my business. But you had that self-belief, even, your dad paid for it even, which is uncomfortable. I know, because literally the first course I ever bought, my mom paid for. You committed, you took the risk, and you listened and you acted. So although I like to take a lot of praise and I really appreciate it, bro, I'm very, very proud of what you've achieved, right? If you, so for anybody watching this, right? I don't know where I'm going to put it actually, but we'll see. For anybody watching or listening to this, can you give a quick breakdown of the timeline? I think we started working together one-on-one like 4, 5 weeks ago, roughly.
Four, I think. Yeah, 4 weeks. What week into the? How many group calls have you done? Because by the time I joined, you had already done two. Because I joined late.
Yeah, we probably did 4 after that. So it was like 4, 5. Yeah, it's like 4 to 5 weeks,
Mm.
roundabout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, there it is. Like it was a 3 month course, like mentorship. And don't get me wrong, I put so much pressure on myself, right? Because this venture from the beginning has always been something that I look at it like I'm putting my family on my shoulders. I have to succeed, and I'm like I mentioned before, I'm very good at self-assessing. So when I'm hard on myself, like I knuckle down. You know what I mean? So when I yeah 4 weeks ago got onboarded, I saw your list of modules, went straight to one that was titled positioning when you were talking about, and that was the specific thing I needed. Then we had our one-on-one call, and then I started telling you about how much I loved it, and then I had a question, and then you said to me, "Oh, have you watched all the other modules?" I said, "Yeah, of course." Then you said, okay, well, because the question you just asked, I actually answered it in one of the other videos that were part of the module set. And then I said, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I skipped them all. I went straight to the one and I said, but you know what? I will watch them all back. And bro, thank F that I did, because then I would have missed out on even more like teachings of yours, guiding that helped me out in this situation for me to land my first client. Because if I just watched the one, it wouldn't have done much, to be honest with you. So then to watch the whole set on the spot, bro, in the sales call, when I was like back against the wall, didn't have the answer. I like I've told you, bro. I literally tapped into what you taught us and things that I did manage to latch onto, and that was just in my arsenal, bro. And it worked like a dime, bro. Like I managed to sign him. So yeah, 4 months. Uh, went through yeah, your modules. It probably took me like a week and a half because yeah, as I mentioned, I'm a dad, so I have had a lot of my schedule. Um, Started doing a lot of. You did ask me to start focusing on the content, and I started writing out scripts and everything. But I was real critical about it towards myself. I was like, you said that like a dickhead. You got to say it more clearly. Like, it wasn't okay with me. Eh? So then, yeah, I filmed like 5, 6 different reels, like long, like 2 minutes long, 2, 3 minutes long each. But I never uploaded them. I just never did. I don't know why. I couldn't give you a straight answer. But then I thought, you know what? Let me dial in on getting the clients. Like that's one thing that you pointed out to me. Like you asked, I told you, I was like, yeah, so I started building up my website, but then I thought I'd make my VSL, my funnel, and you kind of told me to shut the F up. No, I'm kidding. You told me to stop right there. You're like, okay, no, that's good and everything, but that's not bringing anything back to you. What you really need to focus on is getting your clients. Having all that sort of just flashy background stuff. And bro, you're absolutely right, because how I landed this first client had nothing to do with my website, bro. He didn't even see my Instagram, didn't see nothing, and I found him on Instagram. So you're absolutely right. Like for you to tell me to focus on getting the clients is exactly what I did. And so I was thinking, I've been doing outreach, I've been building up my LinkedIn, still quite fairly new to it, but then I've been reaching out. Had a couple guys, no, had one guy. Sorry, I was trying to make myself sound cool on your podcast. I had one guy reach out to me about my services, but that's all. And I followed up, right, properly. But nah, I think he was just seeing how I'd respond or if I was a bot or something. I'm not sure. But he never replied back. Um, I started reaching out to other people through just DMs. A lot of them got opened, but never had a reply. And then bro, without even looking through it, then I thought of your other teachings and started doing, like, switching up my outreach methods, which brought me to the cold video pitch. But I didn't even, that's what I mean. Like, your, the modules that you taught, I remember them, like what applies to my situation. This is not me. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm sorry about this, but I have not gone back to the what page in a long time because I have it locked in, right? And that's being in all honesty. And so yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Switch up the methods. DMs aren't quite working. How can I put value in front of their face to show you how things, show them how I work, like what I can provide, my services and everything. And so yeah, I started doing cold video pitches, mixed it in with a bit of a demo going on. I had your cold video pitch. Don't remember where I saw it, but put value up front, and then I just mixed it together, bro, and just let it all just trickle in. And yeah, that's what I did. I started sending those, and after my fifth one was how I landed my first client. So
Okay, so just to rewind quickly, if I understood everything correctly, you joined the partnership, the one-on-one, about 4 to 5 weeks ago, and you went through the modules. You found value on different ends of it. You applied it to your own situation. You sent 4 to 5 perfect cold video pitches. You took the format that was taught in the modules and combined that with the one-on-one advice I gave you on what to focus on. And within 5 pitches, you landed your first client. That was essentially, to sum it up.
That's definitely the summary. Yeah.
What was the client agreement? Like, what was the actual fee, etc., etc.?
So I was severely underprepared. I I only had an hour's window to prepare for this call, and I put so much focus into like getting the client or even perfecting my product, right? Because if I'm ever frustrated and can't figure something out, I usually find something productive to do, which is go back and find if there's anything I could tweak with my product because AI. And so shit, what was the question, bro?
All good. So the client agreement, you signed that one
Oh,
client?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I wasn't prepared for the call, and then when he asked me straight out, so how much does it cost? I just pulled a number out of my ass, bro, and the number was it was 10,000, bro, and his reaction was literally yeah, and bro, I was screaming internally. I was like, fuck, I should have said 20, 30, anything. He doesn't even flinch at it. But yeah, nah, I stuck with it. It was like, yeah, so it's 10K setup fee, 2K per month for licensing fee, positioning. I didn't say retainer. I said licensing, bro. Right. 2K per month licensing fee plus 250 per booked revenue. Booked appointment. 250 bucks per booked appointment. And that's digging into his entire leads list and the AI that's highly conversational and objection handling and it's trained as a top admin and bro, the appointment's gonna be crazy. Like I'm still building it. Like I told him it takes about 7 days to for building and testing. But to be honest, bro, I started building it today because it only takes me less than a day, a few hours to put it together. That's how I built the AI to be, so it doesn't take up too much of my time.
So you sold the AI, 10K upfront PIF, no payment plan,
Hmm.
2K a month licensing fee, $250 per appointment.
Hmm.
You set up within a day. The client gets the ROI because it's very valuable with the actual service that it does for his business.
Hmm.
How much money do you project to make per month with that client, just with the licensing fee plus the pay per appointment model?
Well, so there's things right. So there's layers to it. So I could say to him, yeah, the goal is to book you sales appointments because he's in real estate, and I could easily run his entire. I think he's got thousands. I don't remember the exact number, but he's like I've got a lot because it's his company's leads, right? So I could put all of those leads through my system and at once. But then what that's going to do is there's only one calendar because it's for him. He's the real estate agent. If 30 people all wanted to book for the next hour, it's not going to be available because he's there's only one time slot. Do you know what I mean? For the next
Yeah.
hour. So I said to him like, we're going to do it in batches um, per week, probably like 100, 200 per week, so we can really start to filter out your which leads went cold and which leads just aren't interested anymore because there's a structure behind the scripting of the AI system. And for projection, it'll probably be a steady, probably like my math just went out the window. It could be
Happens,
like,
bro. Happens.
yeah, it could be like anywhere between 10 to 30, 40K on top of the 2K because it's all a consistent like that's how he makes his commission off sales. You know what I mean? So it's all going to be a drip sequence. It can't be all done at once. But yeah, it's a long game. But all my fulfillment's done automatically, right? So I'm stoked with it.
Bro, I'm just super proud of you. Like you came into the partnership, you committed, you did what you had to do, you listened. 4 weeks in, 10K PIF plus the recurring per month that you just mentioned, and the client is going to get a huge ROI on that. I'm very, very, very proud of you.
You know what
And
else, bro? You know what else is
yeah,
crazy? He has
shoot for it.
multiple businesses. So he and his brothers run a content marketing agency and a marketing agency. So that content agency, yeah, where they create the content for local businesses. So there'll be a completely different pricing model structure for like different occasions type thing. Because the what I was originally going to go for with him was a different pricing structure, but because of the way that his sales process works, it wouldn't make sense for me. Like it'll probably be like 1 month I could make like 40K a pop, like 40K for a month, and then the next it could be dead because he's not making any sales. So there's a difference there, and because the way that their lead generation is, it's very consistent, but it's a bit staggered. So that's why I positioned it with let's reach out to the leads you already have that you didn't close. So yeah, him having multiple businesses, bro, he was all for it. He said to me on the call, I can see so much potential for this business that we have, that business that we have. And he was saying things like he was worried about competition because he knows that my product can be his edge in his state, right? And he asked me like, would you like I understand he goes, I understand that you have to run a business too, but if you were to sell like provide your services to someone else in my area and that's also a real estate agent, how can you guarantee that I will keep my edge? And I said to him, well, that's the thing. I'm not a service provider. I'm not running an agency. I'm a partnership. I'm here to partner with you. So you asking those kind of questions, I'm here to make you money. And as easy as I could as it would be for me to reach out to other real estate agents, there's other niches that I can reach out to as well. So you don't have to worry about that. And he goes, bro, fuck, like, what? Thank you, Like, I really appreciate that because I was gonna say, if you're gonna sell to the other real estate agents in my town or like state, like, then I've lost my edge. But bro, if you're okay with not like reaching out to any other real estate agents in my state, I can refer you to so many others around the country. And I was like, yeah, right. You know what? Sounds good to me, bro.
Bro, just for reference, for like the comparison, we talked about this in the call we had prior in the training call with all the other people in the partnership or a part of them. How much money did you make before per year at the maximum? Like, what was the maximum amount of money you made in 1 year before?
The maximum, bro, the absolute maximum after tax was
Mhm.
like 58, 50 to 60, anywhere between 50 to 60,000 a year.
That's Australian, right?
Australian, yeah.
So it's like 30 to 40, say, yeah, it's around about 30K pounds, euros, etc. Okay. So that's the max you made per year. And with that one deal, you now made 10K up front plus the recurring, plus the referrals. So you essentially, by providing that service right now, et cetera, you'll make literally what you made in a year from that one deal 4 weeks in.
Yeah, literally. And I'm circling back now, but it's because you gave me the words to be able to they're in my arsenal ready to be spoken at the right time. I didn't write down a script. I literally like scribbled down, trying to figure out what to do within that 1 hour window that I had. But then when it came down to it, when it was crunch time, when I was in the conversation, everything went out of my head. I forgot most of it. And all I could think of was your training. And bro, it came at my disposal right when I needed it. And bro, it literally changed my life. Like, what the fuck? How does it work?
Oh, bro, it's amazing because this is also the thing. We're talking about money, we're talking about business, we're talking about finances, but at the end of the day, it's obviously about, what life do you live at the end of the day? And you saying that it changed your life is like the most fulfilling feeling I can have.
You know
in
why though,
my
right?
business.
Because I'm not talking about you. You taught me how to make money. It's you gave me hope. I told you that I've been in this venture for over a year since February last year. It's now May in the following year. I have had no success. None. I had no. I was still at ground zero when I joined your course. Well, probably like a few steps up because I like knowledge wise, right? But in terms of business, bro, I was at ground zero. I had nothing. I had not made a single dollar. And then it wasn't until you provided me with the right tools, literally, as someone who's been jumping ship to multiple different, come here, bro, come look at, we can teach you this. Bro, none of them had the right answers for me this whole time. And it's all you, bro. So when I say you changed my life, I'm not talking about you helped me make money. I mean, you gave me hope and kind of helped me relax a bit in a sense of you helped me validate that I am on the right path. I just got to keep going at it. But here's some tools to help you get at it faster. And that's what we did.
What would you say, Dre, was the biggest takeaway that you've had from these 4 or 5 weeks of working together? Like what made the biggest change for you?
Um, I could obviously say that your the modules and everything, your lessons, the way that you see things has kind of made its way to how I see things. And by no means do I mean I'm at your level now, ha ha ha. I mean like you've brought another perspective on something so straightforward that I couldn't see that now I feel like I'm able to see things in general from a different point of view in a positive way. And so that's the easy answer. But on another thing that's actually quite big for me is community. The people in the team, all of us at the same, you know, we all come to you at the same level somewhat, trying to get our businesses off the ground, trying to find success in a venture that we're all taking a risk on, and to be able to meet up with everyone on a weekly basis and have conversations with people who aren't like thinking I'm speaking gibberish. Like, bro, there's no one around me that I can really chat with about this. My partner, bro, I'll be like rambling on, yeah, because then if I do this, the AI, then the business, blah, blah, blah. But then if I do that, my missus sitting there like, yep, okay, yep, cool. Like, what the fuck? Like, it never translates or anything. My mates and everything, my real life mates, I tried talking with them about business. They have no interest. It's kind of that feeling where people only care unless they see accomplishments type thing. So to be able to have a whole bunch of people that's still in the figuring it out stage themselves, that's it is something I look forward to weekly.
That's amazing. So it was those weekly group calls as well, where you found a lot of value, not only in the insights, but also because you were grouped with people at the same stage as you that could relate to your problems, relate to the situation you're in, that you could talk with about business, essentially.
Yeah, but it's also a reflection of you because of the people that you attract with your energy, right? No one in this group is like a dickhead. Everyone's here to listen. And sorry, it's a natural for me to say.
It's fine, bro. You're good.
Thank you, but yeah, no one here is shutting anyone else down. No one here is like has ego. When you invite us to ask questions for these weekly calls, questions that um, anyone could be too afraid to ask, right? Because they're scared they'll be like shut down or anything like that. But like my first team call, I had like three massive paragraphs, and each of them was just one question. You know what I mean? And that was my first time jumping in, and sure enough, by the end of it, I apologized to everyone. I was like, sorry guys, I didn't mean to take up most of the this call time with my questions. And then they started saying, no, they're like, no, like those are great questions. Like by all means, bring more of those. And I was like, damn, I'm not used to this. Like people being nice in the business world, this is new to me. But that's a testament to you, bro. that's the people that you've attracted, that you brought, and yeah, I'm real stoked to be a part of it.
I appreciate that, bro. Dre, what would you say? So if someone was right now watching this and they're kind of on the edge of working with me in any sort of way, maybe on the one-on-one, whatever that may be, what would your advice to them be?
If you keep telling yourself that you're an action taker, but you really haven't done anything yet, and you've come across Elias's content and understand that he's providing value, then I would highly recommend to just be under his wing, take the risk, and understand that he speaks a language that all these other gurus have no fucking clue about, and that's honesty. You the you're very direct and honest, right? In the most positive like sense. That, like I said, I've been through many courses. Everyone's gonna tell you do A, B, and C, and as someone who's paid for these courses, I'm thinking, well, none of those options apply to me. But then you speak on D, E, F, and I'm thinking, oh shit, that's exactly where I'm at. That that really helps me out. And I'm very critical. I like I said, I'm very good at assessing situations and everything. But I took this leap of faith with more hope than I ever have in this entire journey. And I am someone who talked a lot, but didn't quite understand the actions to put in until I joined your course.
I
And
appreciate that, bro.
it's a critical thing, bro, because I'm dead set. If you say that you're an action taker, but you haven't taken a step yet because you're unsure, you're uncertain, Elias has those answers for you, and it's moved the world for me.
I appreciate that a lot, bro. I really, really do. And I'm proud of you, what you've accomplished so far. I'm sure we will do much more of that. We'll obviously very soon dive into exactly what we're going to go through step by step, how we slightly shift the business now, what the focus needs to be, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I appreciate you very much for coming on, bro. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're gonna make this big together. And I'm very much excited for that.
You're excited. I'm excited hearing you say that you're excited for working with me. Like, bro, you don't get it, bro. I'm like, oh shit, this is happening. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for changing my life.
Of course, bro. You changed your life, but I appreciate it.